solve your problems. They're in their 30s, disabled and queer. Agony onto a funny and modern. If you want it solved, Em and Maddie are here.
Hi, I'm Emily Dash.
And I'm Madeline Stewart. We're here on Gadigal land of the Eora Nation.
And as always, we are here to solve your problem.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone who sent in their questions and queries. And keep them coming. We love to hear them. And we certainly don't have enough, so keep them coming. We want to hear from you. How do they reach us, Em?
You can reach us by email at emmamaddysolveyourproblems@gmail.com or on Instagram.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, Em, let's crack on. How have you been this week? What have you been thinking about?
The thing that I've been thinking about, Maddie, is that in my apartment building, we have someone who continuously wants to smoke weed, and it means that we have to keep our windows and doors closed and can't use the outside section because we don't like the smell of it.
Oh my gosh, Em. How often are they smoking?
Pretty consistently for the last 3 weeks. It's been a bit full on.
Oh, so it's like all day, every day. It's not just like, in the afternoon.
Every now and then. No, it's been pretty pretty crazy consistent. So,
gosh, I have no advice for you, Em, because let's be real, I'm totally that neighbour.
Are you secretly living in my apartment building and I don't know about it?
Look, I would love to live in your apartment building, Em, and that would be lovely. I'd love to be your neighbour, but no, alas, I am that neighbour for a whole other building in Sydney. Whenever I have a chuff outside, because I'll do it outside because you can't smoke inside. It's not good to do that. It'll get into the carpet and the walls.
Yes.
Never get your bond back. So you go outside, which is where you should chuff, and all I hear is passive-aggressive slamming of windows, slamming of doors, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but what do you expect me to do? I'm on a balcony. Where do you think people should smoke?
Go to a park or something.
Yeah, where the children play, where the parents look at you so angrily. They're like, you keep that devil's lettuce away from my children. And you're like, I'm sorry, but my neighbours are slamming their windows.
Yeah, there's really no good way to do it, is there?
Yeah, where is a good place to partake in a little chuff?
I don't know, just far away from me, basically.
Do you know there's incense you can burn to eliminate the smell?
So I think that's going to be our next protocol, honestly. We're just going to, have competing
smells. Well, I think that's really the only thing you can do. Unless, of course, you put up flyers in your apartment being like, are you smoking pot? Do it in the park, you animal.
I'm just surprised no one else has put it on our intra-building communication system.
Oh my gosh, do you have a group chat with the whole apartment building?
Basically, yeah, we do.
I would love to read those chats. It's probably so snarky.
It's very entertaining, that's all I'll say about it.
I'm sorry, but number 5 didn't put the bins out last night. Is it that kind of stuff?
But actually, though.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised no one's commented on that. That's just the kind of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe rooftops are a good place to go because you're on the top of the building.
We do have a nice rooftop section.
Well, maybe that's where they should go. You should pop some ashtrays out there, encourage them.
A little bit of gentle encouragement. Anyway, that's my latest drama.
I really like that.
How about you?
Oh, my goodness. My drama this week. What do I want to talk about? I went to a baby shower recently over the weekend, and my friend is it's actually lovely Irene who sings our theme song. She's going to have a little baby, which is exciting. So we went to a bridal party and people were talking about names, and I threw out silly ideas because I think there's so much pressure on parents about what are you going to name your baby, and they don't want to feel judged. So I was like, okay, only bad suggestions. You know, I'm suggesting things like Manticore, things like that. And I was just like, perfect, that's the best name for the baby. And then like some lady started agreeing. And I thought, oh my gosh, some people would actually call their child Manticore, like the tiger that ate Roy. Oh, well, attacked Roy, you know, Siegfried and Roy.
But also, like, I don't know, things like Daenerys and stuff and Khaleesi and stuff are becoming popular. I'm like, wow, let's look at context of those things, friends.
Yeah, I think it's wild. Like, you can name your baby whatever you want, that's fine. But I thought I'd bring it up with you today. Bad baby names.
Correct. Well, we have, you know, it's a really interesting topic of conversation because you know that we have a little baby coming.
Yeah, you have a little baby coming into your life.
And, like, I've noticed that, like, not my sister and her husband, they're pretty chill about it, but some people are, like, super protective of, like, baby names.
Yeah.
So it's best not to get involved, I feel.
Yeah, but you can't help but get excited.
I know.
There's so much pressure, which is why I always suggest bad names, like purposefully bad, and we all have a laugh. Yeah, like bus stop number 42 or whatever. 47.
Yeah,
like you
get
said
it right, Maddie.
in our previous episode, bus stop 47. Yeah, and my mother was a teacher. She once taught a kid called Mono Stereo. That was legit their name.
Ocean and Breeze twins I've heard of.
Oh, that's a good one. Josh, have you heard of any bad baby names?
So many. I went to we went to school with a Breeze.
Yeah.
And a Blaze and
a Blaze.
What else? There was some weird names.
Yeah.
There was some really weird names.
Yeah, people have very unusual names
But I to be honest, in defense of unusual names, I quite like them.
Oh yeah, I think they're quite unique. If you could rename yourself M, if you weren't an Emily, would you give yourself a Fandango name?
I mean,
Fandango?
I like the name Anastasia. Mostly that's because of the movie.
Yeah, I like the name Zelda.
Zelda, like, okay, this is showing my age, but do you remember Sabrina Teenage Witch?
Yes.
Zelda.
It's very Sabrina.
There is Zelda, and what was the other one called?
I can't remember, but I can't remember, but yes. You get nail on the head.
One of the Zelda.
It's a sick name. I think that's what I'd call myself.
Yes.
Josh, if you could call yourself anything, what would you call yourself?
King Joshua the Wise.
Perfect.
Yeah, that makes all kinds of sense.
You should change it. Legalize it. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Em. I just wanted to say that baby names are getting wild, kind of into it, but also kind of not.
Yeah, no, let people do what they want, I say.
Yeah, you're not the one living with the name.
Yeah. We have good names.
Yeah, I quite like my name, Madeline. It's good for all ages.
It suits you.
Thank you. I was going to be an Allison.
Oh.
I was going to be an Allie. Not a fan. I prefer Maddie.
Maddie's nice. Well, I'm biased because, you know.
Your little niece is Maddie.
Yes.
We're very similar.
Yes,
Me and your
Big
niece.
Maddie and Little Maddie.
We both love wearing Crocs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we bond
That's
over.
true.
All right, I think it's time for our first question, don't you?
Yes, I would love a question, Josh.
Okay. I accidentally liked a post from ages ago. I think I've been caught cyberstalking. Hell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I do it all the time.
This is like my worst nightmare.
I'm so clumsy, and I also love a cyber stalk.
This is why I do my cyber stalking at like 1, 2 in the morning, because like people are less likely to be online, because I think that if you like something and then unlike it, they're only gonna know if they're online when you first like it, right?
I don't know. It's kind of like when you're in a Zoom meeting and you don't know how much of your screen people can see. I think it's that scenario where, like, you might have to do some testings with that, because I always thought if you liked a post and then even if you dislike it, like you unlike it straight away, they would still get the notification that you'd liked it, but then they'd click on the post and the like wouldn't be there.
The other thing is like when you're in a Zoom meeting, like you say,
Yeah.
and like private messaging somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And you forget to mark it as a private message. That's awkward.
Oh, yeah. And I've also done a thing where I've had like a real serious problem with someone, or like a very serious like thing to write in a group, but I've accidentally written it in the wrong group.
Oh.
Instead of the small intimate group, it was like the expanded group. And I was like, I'm having problems with this. Like it was like a work thing, a little complaint. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've sent it to the entire cast. I've sent it to everybody.
Wow.
I've had that. And it was very embarrassing. And it followed up by a message going, hey, you know this is the full cast chat. And I was like, ooh.
How do you deal with it though?
I think you just vomit in your mouth a little and you move on.
Yes, basically, I think that
You cringe for the rest of your life.
people do things, right? And I think, most of the things that you and I would do are not meant to be mean-spirited or something
No, we're
like
just
that.
curious. We're just having a cyber stalk. And we've been caught snooping. But everyone does that. Everyone does it. I'm sure everyone does it.
I'm sure it would be flattering in most circumstances anyway.
Yeah, I would love it if someone from my past just randomly liked a picture from like years ago. I'd be like, oh, they're having a good cyber stalk. But if it was a stranger, I'd feel weird.
I'm just also not that interesting. So.
That's such a lie. I cyber stalk you.
Well, what have you seen that you have enjoyed from?
Well, you do post a lot of Taylor Swift lyrics. So
Lyrics.
And once I wade through all of those.
Yeah, I've been blocked for posting too many Taylor Swift lyrics.
Oh my gosh, you need a social media etiquette class, Emily.
Yes.
But do you know what? You just post what you want. If people want to block you, they just block you. Who cares?
Well, that's my thing. I mean, isn't it like a self-expression type of thing?
Yeah.
So it's really for yourself. People don't want to see it. They don't have to see it.
But it's still super embarrassing when you're caught snooping. So, yeah, I think you have good advice. If you're going to snoop, do it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's good. Unless you have international followers.
Yeah, but you just clock who that person is that you're snooping and when they're most likely to be asleep.
Yep.
I love that. Cool. Solved. Josh, do we have another question?
We do. I've been invited to a party and I know there's going to be people that I don't like. How do I navigate this?
Oh my gosh, we've been there.
Yeah, I've been there as well. Look, I think my advice with this, I don't know, is just to like make the best of it. Focus on the people that you do actually like being there. And like, even the people that you think you don't like, maybe a bit of a controversial opinion, but maybe take the opportunity to hang out with them and your opinion of them might change.
Yeah, I agree. I've watched enough Married at First Sight to know that when two couples enter the dinner party and like they're hating each other, it's always awkward because everyone else in the room is like, those two hate each other. So they're watching to see how you're going to respond. And I feel like that's how it is in a lot of social events. So I think if there's someone there at the party that you dislike, make an effort to go over, or if you see them or if they're in a group scenario, always say hello to them. Be polite, be classy. You know, even if they're a horrible person, be the bigger person and say, hello, nice to see you, even if it's a lie, or hello, good to see you. Or you could say, hello, I'm seeing you presently, even if it's not good to see you.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, you're here. Maybe pay them a compliment on what they're wearing or something. You look nice. And then just carry on with your night. Be a nice person.
I frequently compliment people on what they wear. And I'm sure people think it's a move. But, like, generally when I do it, it's because I'm genuinely enamored by what people are wearing.
Yes, I think so many people have wonderful, unique styles nowadays because you can access any type of clothing you want from the internet.
Yeah.
We're not just limited to JJ's and Chicka Booty like we used to as a kid.
Yes.
But yeah, I think go something generic. Do yourself a favor and politely say hello. And if the person is mean to you and if they ignore you or if they say something rude back, that's going to make them look bad more than you.
Yeah.
So don't go in there be a gossip. You just be the queen that you are.
Absolutely.
Just go in there and own it.
And again, you might make a friend where you didn't think you'd have one.
Yeah, people change.
Yeah.
That's excellent advice, Em. All right, Josh, do we have another question?
How do I keep things spicy in a long-distance relationship?
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever been in a long-distance relationship, Emily?
I haven't, but I know people who have. And, it's definitely a time, right? Like, I think it does have its own sort of unique challenges. I don't think I'd be cut out for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've heard that sexting can be a thing that people do. I don't know. Would you sext, Maddie?
I'm not. I'm not very good at flirting, Emily. I don't even think the idea of sexting terrifies me. Like, what do you say? I enjoy your bits and pieces.
And
you know,
it's hard.
I don't know how to text.
It's hardly like something that you can go to a class and learn the skills.
Oh, that's a business idea. Every episode there's a business idea, and I reckon one should be sexting and flirting.
For
beginners.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think I'd be very good at it either. But, I think it'd be one of those things that you learn over time. And it might, unlock interesting possibilities.
Yeah.
I think that's important for a long-distance relationship.
And also, Zoom. You can FaceTime and Zoom and connect with your person, electronically. I know that there are some streaming services where you can watch a film together, in different countries and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I do that with both of those things, like the Zooming and the watching TV together. I do that with, because I have lots of long distance friends, and we do all those kinds of things together. It's quite cute.
I like that.
So I think, you could adapt those for a romantic relationship. Sending little gifts.
Little gifts, little love notes, little postcards. Yeah, get cute with it. Use it as an opportunity to get creative.
I mean, if I wanted to be super cute, I'd write poems and stuff for someone. But
I would love that.
maybe one day I'll write a poem for you, Maddie.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Yes.
Yeah, I want one of them. I have my brother. He was he was in a long-term relationship, and they were overseas. He was living in Hong Kong, and his now wife was living in Australia.
Yes.
And they were dating, and he actually proposed to her via Zoom.
Oh, wow.
So that's long distance relationship gone wild. So he called me up and he was like, I really want to propose to my girlfriend. Can you help it happen? So I'm in Australia, and I went and I bought a cake and got will you marry me piped on the cake. I rocked up at her house and I set up candles. This is secretly, she had no idea. And I got a big bunch of flowers and I set up the Zoom. So I made it real romantic on my end. And then I connected with him on Zoom, and he's sitting there in track pants and a t-shirt, and I had to go, what are you doing? Get in a suit. You're going to ask her to marry you, at least the top half. You can wear trackies on the bottom, she won't know, but my God, run a comb through your hair.
It went well in the end, though,
Yeah, they're married. They're married now, clearly. She said yes, they got married, and he did wear a suit to the wedding, which I'm happy about, but I can't believe that.
Was she Was she freaked out? Was she surprised?
She was so surprised. She had no idea.
Oh, that's so cute. That's cute that you played a role in, like, that major milestone.
Oh my gosh, it was even harder planning a wedding when you're in two different countries. I had to go to all the wedding expos with her, and everyone thought we were a queer couple. They kept asking us when we're getting married, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm the sister-in-law.
Oh, my God.
It was really funny. I loved it. I got a lot of free samples of cake and whatnot.
Yeah, that would be the best
Yeah. So,
about helping plan a wedding. I think.
So I'm saying long distance relationships, hey, if you can dream it, you can do it. And if my brother can
think
propose
so.
and plan a wedding overseas, what's your excuse for sending like a poem or a little gift or, jumping on Zoom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'd be very good at a long distance relationship.
I think so. You have a very caring temperament and you think of very unique things and like special ways to show affection.
But I always I think I'd be one of those annoying people that are like, you need to spend more time with me.
You only Zoomed me twice yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You reckon you'd get clingy?
I reckon I'd be like a stage 5 clinger. Who knows? If I ever find a partner, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, if you find a partner, you're keeping them right there next to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, good luck with the spice of your long distance relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once again, let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
We're fascinated.
We are. We want to know how everyone's relationships are going. All right, Josh, next question.
Hi, Em and Maddie. I've been diagnosed with ADHD and have since realised that so many of my family members are also neurodivergent. But they aren't the most accepting of disability in general and flat out deny any signs I bring up. I know they would benefit from a diagnosis because I see them struggle like I had for years. How do I talk to them about this without causing drama?
So,
That's wild.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a tricky one. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD last year, and I certainly was like, oh, that's where I get it from. Like, I think about my parents and my grandparents and my cousins, and I'm like, whoa, it's really in there. But I think when it comes to diagnosis, it's very expensive. And if you don't feel like your neurodivergency is creating significant barriers in your life where you need medication or whatever, I don't always think a diagnosis is totally necessary unless you personally feel like you need it. But I think a lot of people who have ADHD struggle so much that they're like, yeah, I do need it. But it takes time.
It does take time. And I think it would be hard if, like, your family's not particularly accepting of these kinds of things and if you see that genetic sort of disposition to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also sometimes it's hard being neurodivergent because you don't realize your brain works differently. Like, I thought everybody does things in certain ways. Like, I thought everybody had, just 10 million things in their head at once. Because when people are like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so flat out, I'm like, yeah. But then I'm sure if I was in their brain or in mine, they'd be like, what the hell's going on in here? I just had 2 chores to do,
Yes.
Like I think you don't realize how neurodivergent you are because you're so used to your own brain. It's all you know.
Yeah.
It took me years to figure out that other people think differently.
I think it would take the pressure off diagnosis if we took a social model approach to all of these and just tried to cater for as many brains as possible. It would be simpler, I think. Because you can have traits and not be neurodivergent.
Yeah, you could pick up traits for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think that you're right. If we just focus on like these are the barriers people face and how to break them down, I think potentially if your family isn't accepting of neurodivergency, you could subtly just do things or teach them ways to do things without calling them access or without calling them neurodivergent, like coping skills or changes or whatever.
Well,
You could just implement things.
That's true, because like I have people that I know of, or friends of friends or whatever it might be, that are not particularly accepting of their neurodivergency, but it doesn't really matter, because if you just learn what works for them and implement strategies that are going to work for them, then the diagnosis becomes not irrelevant, but like not as necessary. I'm all for taking the onus off the individual.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I think information is always good to know. If you feel, maybe you could lend them some books or share some videos or some reels. That's sometimes a good way to do it, but maybe don't push if the person isn't willing. You can lead a horse to water, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like horses.
Yeah, that's a... Are you sure you've not been tested for neurodivergence? Peer reviewed. All right, Josh, send us a question. I'm going to leave that there.
Okay, well, it is our favourite time of the week once again. Dolly Doctor segment, where I go through an old Dolly magazine and I pull out some questions from the sealed section and you guys try your very best to answer them. 20 years too late. Okay, this one comes in from Joey via email. My nipples always hurt and I've discovered pimple-like lumps on the pink section of my breast. My nipple and the pink bit around it has also been flaking and itchy. I'm getting worried.
So like the areola.
Is
what
that
it's
the
called?
name for it?
That's a beautiful name for a baby, areola.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even know that. You learn something new every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be worried too, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's normal, like when you go through puberty, for your nipples and area around your nipples to change. Maybe you grow hairs, maybe you get little bumps. But I think when they said it was like itchy and flaky, that I don't know why I'm touching my boob as I'm saying this, but I felt necessary. When it's itchy and flaky. Tits, we've got them.
But see, it's interesting because I'm always itchy and flaky. So for me, that's just another
Just all over.
Yes.
That's normal for you.
It is.
I think, if you're worried, you should always go to your doctor for medical things. If your body's changed, it's always better to ask. And I should say, because we don't mention this, we always say to people, go to your doctor, show them your bits. But we never talk about how hard it is to go to a doctor to show them your bits.
Oh, I know.
Especially if it's like your family doctor you've been seeing since you were like 2 years old and now you're like, hi, doctor, can you look at my vagina? Like, it's weird.
Yes. Particularly weird when you have a disability, I think. Because for me, I need a third person in there to assist with transfers and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Strange situation.
Just a crowded room for you, Emily.
Yes.
But yeah, it can be freaky going to your doctor. But be brave, you can do it. And if you're shy, you can go to a doctor of the same gender as you. Or if you're queer, there are like clinics specifically and doctors, so like MDs for people who are queer or non-binary or trans that like are safe spaces. There's one in Newtown.
Which is a very good thing.
Yeah. A lot of my lady pals, my little friends, are like nervous going to doctors because they're like, men don't listen to me, and so many people have recommended this queer doctor's surgery because they're like, they're modern, they know what's up, and no one's ever going to judge you on your body, which I like in a doctor's. There should be more safe space doctors.
We need more doctors. Honestly, though, we need more doctors who are trained in disability and are disability aware.
Yeah. Or even just aware of any marginalised group.
Yes.
Like asking you your preferred name, your preferred pronouns, things like that.
Yeah.
They're important.
Very important.
Back to the nipples, though.
Yes.
If your nips are giving you trouble, if your
Go
nips
to
just
your-
keep getting bigger.
Find your doctor that you feel comfortable with.
Thank you. Yes, correct. But yeah, or you can talk to a parent or a friend if you're a bit nervous as well and get their
Yes.
advice. Or you can write into us, which clearly
They
this
did.
Dolly Doctor didn't write into us, but they wrote into Dolly Doctor.
That's true.
They would have waited a whole month for the magazine to come out.
Yes.
By then, who knows what would have happened to their nipples.
Imagine that wait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for serious medical response, but I'll wait till next month and hope it's featured in this magazine. Look, wild.
Wild time in 2005.
2005 was a strange time. But yeah, always go to your doctor. Cool. I think we've solved it.
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
I hope their nips are okay 20 years on.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, hope they didn't fall off or anything. Can nipples fall off?
I don't think so, babe. You can grow more than 2 nipples.
Oh, that would be handy. If one fell off, you could replace. Just like, oh, I brought a spare. Bloop, 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 bloop. I like it when people have third or nipples and stuff, like they tattoo them or they like cover it up with like an extra bikini top, like for like amusing
Yes.
pictures. I know. I'm so easily amused on the internet. Anything remotely silly, I'm like, yeah.
The internet's a wonderful, wild place.
I love it too. All right. We've answered the nip question. We've talked enough about nipples. Josh, lead us home with the final question.
Okay, what is something unique about dating as someone with disability that most people aren't aware of?
About dating.
I think dating with disability, that it can happen in the first place, as I always say. That people with disability have all kinds of relationships and relationship structures. We can be polyamorous, we can be monogamous, we can be all these different kinds of things. And
Disabled people don't have to date other disabled people.
yes,
It's quite common for an interabled relationship.
it is. I know of interabled relationships that have been very successful.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also known a lot of people who are both disabled and they very successful relationships. It's like all things, people.
Absolutely. People are people. Yeah, no, I think the movement thing, as I've discussed on previous episodes, having different involuntary movements can be
Quite fun.
quite fun and interesting.
Yeah. Use what you got. You know what I mean?
The,
You gotta
the
flaunt it.
whole thing of sometimes having to involve a third person in your when you're being intimate and,
Yeah.
and having to juggle that and finding the right people who can be helpful with that and also respectful of your space, etc. is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think some things that people don't know about dating disabled people. Is that the question, Josh?
Similar. Yeah.
Yeah, the question is, what is something unique about dating as someone with disability that most people aren't aware of?
Yeah, I think for me, the most unique thing about having one arm and dating is that people feel like they can just tell me ableist jokes because I think it's like a double whammy. I'm disabled and I'm also a comedian. So if you get those two together and you have a date with just the wrong person, you know, I grew up in Campbelltown. I've dated some real characters.
Yeah.
So like sometimes people will be like, oh, you're a comedian, you'll love this joke. And they'll tell me some really ableist joke. Like I remember one time someone said to me on a date, what's better than winning 3 gold in the Paralympics? Not being disabled. And that was his joke for me. Like he thought I would find that funny.
My God.
And I was like, in what world? Read the room.
Did you school him so hard?
No, this was before I had self-confidence, Emily. I think I just sat there and just went, I'll just ignore that as I eat my dinner and never see him again. I think I was too nervous to get up and leave.
For me, the not having to construct time and space for two people to be alone is a really unique challenge.
For your
Yeah.
Because I have a question for you. Because there are like things that people do in relationships and dating that is just like the norm, but like might be different for you.
Yes.
Like making out in the car, things like that.
See, I can't make out in it. Well,
I mean, you just got to get real creative with it.
see, it's interesting because I have dated non-disabled or less disabled people than me. Like, I've dated more able-bodied people than me and less able-bodied people than me.
Yeah.
And they both bring up different challenges. I think in a certain way it's easier when you have someone who's a bit more able than you because they can manipulate certain things.
Yeah.
Have more range of movement and all that kind of stuff.
That's really interesting.
Which opens up things like making out in a car. But if you're both
Yeah.
like have limited range of motion, then it can be more challenging. But what I find is, and this makes me want to get back in the dating game.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
But what I find is that when intimacy is harder for you to do, you tend to make the most of it and cherish it more rather than taking it for granted, I guess.
I think that's actually really lovely and romantic, Emily.
Yeah.
You're so romantic.
It's a shame, like, yes, I'm very romantic. Theoretically, I'm very romantic.
Theoretically.
Would I be romantic in practice? I don't know.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to go get an online dating profile.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe more on that another episode.
Maybe yes.
I'm not even gonna, we're at the end of this episode, so I'm going to save my questions on your dating profile for another time. I will be questioning you on that.
That was a great episode, though, and what a cliffhanger.
What a cliffhanger. We've left it on a cliffhanger. You better tune in another time and check out Em's dating adventures or online dating adventures. This is exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and sitting with us and listening to us chat and sending in your questions. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do, and we can't wait to film another episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.